This podcast is brought to you by Steede Motor Group, Claregalway. For your personalised vehicle shopping experience, find out more at steedemotorgroup.ie.
So delighted now to be joined by Glenamaddy footballer Aidan Geraghty and Maigh footballer Fiach Béarra to look at the senior and intermediate semi-finals, as well as those couple of relegation games as well. The senior relegation round robin series gets underway this weekend, and we're at the final round of it as well in the intermediate. Lads, just before we do get in to look at the senior and intermediate semi-finals first, it's probably going to be like a bit of a therapy session for Voti to start off. But Aidan, bit heartbreaking for yourselves again to come up short after extra time for the second year in a row in a quarter-final, I presume.
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. It's sickening, to be honest with you. There's no other way to describe it. To be a point up both years at the end of normal time and kick the last kick of the game twice, last year and this year, to bring it to extra time. It's just an extra time then it takes on a life for own. And obviously we're not very good at it. But and then get it back, hit the crossbar in the last minute or two and lose by a point again. Just sickened. It's, I don't know, maybe it's a mental thing or something. It's it's very, very disappointing.
Can you put it down, then?
If maybe it was last year, I would have said inexperience. But when you do the same thing over, I don't know. Just not managing it right. Like it's, just finishing line there in front of you and just not to be able to hold it out. Because I think if we got over that quarter-final thing, I think that's 3 quarter-finals now in a row. Lost by 2 points and then 2 extra time defeats. So I think it's a mental thing. I don't know. I'm a long time on the road, but can't figure that one out.
And for Fiach yourselves, you obviously lost by a point to Monivea in the quarter-final, 13-12. It's safe to say we've all seen the penalty decision. A penalty should have been given. It wasn't given. You lose 2 key players through injury. Similar to Aidan, I presume it's probably just hard to talk about the season when it's still a bit fresh.
It was a tough pill now to swallow. Same thing with Aidan, like with their third quarter-final defeat in a row by a point. We've lost 2 county finals as well. So, like what Aidan said there, it's a mental thing. I think, I suppose for both of us, Glenamaddy and Maigh, you need to win. You need to get over one of these big games. And unfortunately for us, we haven't been able to do it the past 3 years, which is very disappointing. Especially, we were happy going in at half time. We were a point up with the wind in the second half. We were 3 points up into the second half. Should have had a penalty, but still, I felt we were in control of the game, and we just let it slip by us, which was very, very disappointing. And it's a long winter again. Thinking about what ifs, what nots. But look, we'll keep going. As I say, we love the misery. But like I said off air, sometimes you just need that bit of lady luck on the day. And we just didn't get it. But the show must go on. But yeah, tough week. Tough week. But it is what it is.
Just before we do get into the senior semi-finals, lads, whichever one of you wants to jump in here first, but like going on this intermediate championship, do you think it's up there with across the country one of the most competitive intermediate championships when you look at it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, Aidan, you can go first.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would think so. Like, people were asking you after the group stages who do you want in the next round? I'm like, no one. No one. There's no team you'd fancy there. Like, And especially with the preliminary quarterfinals then this year as well, like another year Cartoon would have been out. You know, and then they're in it, now they're in a semi-final. Now I know that they did have a very hard group, but as I said, other years they would have been knocked out. So I would say it's extremely competitive. Like, I'd say, like you see Williamstown were in the relegation battle for the last couple of years. Really put it up to Micheál Brannachs in the second half of that game. And Kilconly, they're thereabouts most years in relegation battle now. I think they will come out of it, but you know, on any other given day, they could be up there as well. So yeah, definitely, I think it has to be one of the most competitive across definitely Connacht anyway, but I would imagine across the country.
You're along similar lines there, Fiach?
Yeah, no, like when you look at when you're doing the power rankings, like I could have said, like the 10, 12 teams there were probably say to themselves that they could win an intermediate championship this year. There was one team there that some people failed to mention. I think Brendan's are a fantastic team. Sometimes they don't get half the plaudits. I don't know how they're that low in the power rankings. You've Carrow in relegation. You've Caltra now back at it big time. Williamstown, we were seriously under the pump there in the second half against Williamstown. It really was Boland and Finton that really got us out of that game. Like they were in a Division 3 final, lost by 3 points to Letchermore. Like it's a tough championship. And do you know what? It's only going to get tougher next year.
Yeah, obviously with that two teams coming down from senior, so intermediate definitely is going to get tougher. If we're to look at the senior semi-finals first, the game we'll look at first is the game on Sunday, 3:30 Tune Stadium, Miltown Corofin. To kind of bring both of you in here, so last week we were talking on the podcast, obviously, and we we're referencing Miltown season and how terrific it's been and what they've done. It's just remarkable. But can Miltown beat Corofin this weekend?
I was actually thinking about this. I'd give them a chance. Yeah. Corofin. They put it to this way: if Tuam had beaten Miltown, everyone would give. If Tuam had beaten Corofin, everyone would give Miltown a great chance. And Corofin or Tuam had chances to win that game as well, but ultimately, as Corofin do, they come through. So I would give them a chance. Probably hard to see them win it, but I think it won't be as easy for Corofin as people might say on paper, especially if I know Dylan Canny was missing the last day for Corofin. He's obviously a huge loss. I've seen him playing in a couple of games earlier this year and he was flying. If Miltown can keep it tight for as long as they can and try to get them on the break, I would give them a chance, but probably Corofin probably will win it, but I would give Miltown an outside chance, yeah.
You give them a chance, Fiach?
Yeah, I would. Just the fact of they've momentum behind them. They've nothing to lose. They play to their strengths, direct football, which could cause Corofin a lot of trouble. Now, in saying that, great seeing Liam Silk back. Like, he was marking Jamie Murphy the last day, 3 points on Jamie Murphy, probably one of the stalwarts in club championship for a long, long time. But like what Aidan said there, if Miltown bring this into a dogfight, get them on the counter, Micheál Martin, Liam Costello, serious ballers. But it's unbelievable what Miltown have done this year, Like, I don't know how true it is, but someone's telling me that like their average age is in the mid 30s. Like, if that's true, like it's serious going for for a small club, you know. To be in a county semi final, great tradition in that club. It's unbelievable, and they'll 100% go into that game now thinking they can cause an upset. But another thing, like I only saw Corofin once this year, and that was against Uachtarard in Pure Stadium. And you know, if Corofin play like they did against Uachtarard, Miltown would be definitely with a shout. Now, when you beat Tuam, one of your rivals, one of your neighbours, you know, it gives you a great lift. So you'd expect Corofin to win. But I would definitely give Miltown a serious chance, just on momentum alone. Nothing to lose. Throw the kitchen sink at it. And yeah, no, I think it could, you know, and again, you know, it could be a bad day, you know, wind, everything, referees, you just don't know. So, you know, I expect a tight game there.
Just on that, Aidan, when Fiach touched there on Miltown's maybe average age, it's a lot higher than other clubs. He had Darren Malady this year coaching you again, and he's still going strong. He hasn't featured yet, but maybe we could expect him to feature at some stage. But like, just from getting an insight into him, and obviously there's a few players around his age that are still going strong for Miltown. When you see him training, like, what is it for you that all these kind of old stalwarts for Miltown are going stronger than ever?
Yeah, it's a credit to them. But like, we were actually joking one day. I said, you don't retire in Miltown. You just keep playing. You know, just keep going as long as you have. Like, I was at that down in Miltown game that day, and you know, they were behind. I think it was 3 or 4 behind, maybe 10 minutes left. Carl Blake won a couple of balls midfield. Class kick passer of the ball, doesn't give it away. His brother Jamer came on full forward in the last maybe 5 minutes, touched the ball maybe 3 times. They got 3 points out of it. Just lovely little deft hand passes left and right. He knew where to go. And then you have the other 2 Blake lads, Kieran and Sean. You know, great players, great defenders. They can mix it every way. And obviously you have Darren, as you said, he hasn't featured yet. I wouldn't be one bit surprised if he does feature on Sunday. I don't know, he may not, but it wouldn't surprise anyone, I'm sure, if you did see him coming on. And I'm sure it'd be a big lift for all the younger lads and the older lads on the team to see if he did come on. But yeah, it's a credit to them the way they can keep it going, and the heads they have for it, and the love of Miltown and playing for Miltown. They just seem to keep going and give it everything when they're there. And like, think of a lot of clubs that give anything to have lads like that. Just keep going as long as they can.
Before we do get touch on Corofin a bit, before we touch on matchups and predictions in this game, Miltown are 11-1 to win Frank Fox at the minute, and Mountbellew are 4-1, and then Corofin are second favourites. Moycullen odds on to win back-to-back county titles. But Fiach, when you consider the age of some of these Miltown players, and like, they're not going to be around forever as long as we are thinking that they're still playing, but is this the chance now that this group kind of need to realise that they mightn't always get to semi-finals year after year?
No, and you know, I suppose if you go through the Galway Championship in the last 10 years, you'll always get one team that we don't expect to reach a semi-final. And we've seen with the likes of Béarra, we've seen the likes of Michaels getting to a county final. You know, they're in a great spot here at the moment. Like what I said, some of these lads could be their last. This could be their last game for their club. There'll be serious motivation in that dressing room to give it all the next day. You know, serious stalwarts in that club. Just, you know, it'll be, you know, it'll be like it'll be a big ask for them to win on at the weekend. Like, but you know, if you look at it, like it's fallen right in place for them with the story behind it and everything. But you know, from 1 to 15, all have to have the games of their lives at the weekend. Like, just touching there on Corofin again, like, you know who really now impressed last day. He's slowly getting into is Tony Gill.
Yeah.
And he had a serious game that day, you know. So just going through that Corofin team, it's a brilliant team, brilliant management. Kevin Johnson, like, serious coach. But you know, they'll throw Miltown will throw everything at it, and it's all about Corofin, you know. And going to it, like, Miltown, the first 20 minutes now, Miltown will see, you know, will seriously trying to keep in that game, keep it tight, and stay in that game for as long as they can.
With Corofin, they've been going about their business quite nicely this year. Obviously come unbeaten in the championship so far. We referenced it a few times on the podcast throughout the year. A lot of the younger players have added to this year. Brian Cogger, Jack McCabe, Patrick Egan in midfield. He obviously would have played probably against a lot of these because they would have started their careers out with the Corofin intermediates. But when you look at them three that have added to it, and then you look at Mike Farrer coming on the last day, Martin Farrer coming on the last day, Micheál Lundy coming on the last day, Ronan Steede not coming on, like, there's definitely a case to be made here that this is probably one of the strongest panels out of all the teams left in the championship.
100%. And you just touched on there, Corofin. They're going through this championship very quietly. Not much. Now look, maybe because I'm on the other side of the pond, but Jesus, there's no talk about Corofin at the moment, and you know that is scary. A lot of people are talking about Moycullen and Mountbellew, in which will be a massive game. But you know, Corofin are in a lovely position where there's no one talking about them, and you just look at what happened to Ireland in the rugby and the All Blacks, and you look at tradition. You know, so I'd say that the lads in Corofin are happy where they are, and like you said, the experience showed then when these boys came on, Michael Lundy, Colin Brady, the two Farrers, Micheál and Martin. They're just a serious outfit, and you know, when it comes to semi-finals and finals, there's no better team to do it.
And Aidan, like, with this group, there's no denying this group are hurting. They haven't won a county title since 2019, and obviously for every year there it was happening for them. But like, this group are definitely hurting, and you can see they're eager to get back to where they were.
100%. 100%, as Fiach touched on there. Excuse me. I suppose all the talk is really about Moycullen. Sure, it plays right into Corofin's hands in that you just listed out some of the players, not even the players that have come up through the intermediate ranks, but that were on the subs the last year, like the two Farrers, Ronan Steede, Micheál Lundy, like all Ireland medals flowing out of their pockets, like it's unbelievable. But like, to have that and to have the youth that they have there as well, like Gary Sice up front, Jesus, like he's still playing, but he might be getting the highest man. He'll kick his frees. He might be the highest scorer from play, but so much goes through him. He's so clever on the ball, his kick pass and everything is absolutely brilliant. So like, as Fiach said, they're in a great position. Obviously they have to get over Miltown at the weekend, but that squad they have is just unbelievable. Be very hard to see, very hard to look by them. You know, when you're picking a potential county champion. Obviously, Moycullen are there, but Corofin are right on their tailcoats, and I'm sure they'd be gunning for whoever gets it through the other side as well.
I presume you both think they have the advantage in the Corofin backs, Liam Silk, Ciara Malloy, they just seem like they already have the players to match up very well with the Miltown forwards.
Yeah, 100%. And I suppose I'd imagine what they would try to do is attack. Like that seems to be where most of their scores come from. Runners running from deep, and they'll keep running. They might give a ball, but they'll keep running on. You could see Dylan Wall, Liam Silk, Ciara Malloy up in the full forward line, and you could have a corner forward out in the half forward line. It's just positions don't seem to matter to them. They're such good footballers; they can play anywhere. So yeah, I would imagine that will be what we touched on at Miltown. You know, we think they're an older team. They might just have the same fitness levels as Corofin would have, and I'd imagine Corofin will try and exploit that using the wings, using the depth. As I said, a lot of runners from deep. Very hard to defend that when it's constantly coming at you. You know.
Do you know what? Do you know Miltown? I forgot to say, Miltown gave Moycullen a good game this year as well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So you know, that's just after coming into my head there. Like I 100% I say, you know, I can imagine Silky now would be on Martin, like, and I say Silky will want to bring him up the field. Now, if Micheál Martin, I say he'll just pass him on to someone else because you need your best players up front. But you know, Miltown will be going into this game with serious pedigree. You know, like I know, and a heavy pitch might suit Miltown as well. Do you know? But sorry, no, I have to cut into you there. Just came into my head.
No, not at all. But just thinking like on this, who do we expect to come in for Corofin in the forward line? Just like to refresh your memory, forward line that started against Tuam was Brian Cogger, Dylan Wall, Tony Gill, Jack McCabe, Gary Size, Conor Brady. Mike Farrer obviously changes the game when he comes on against Tuam, but Dylan Canny and Dara Silk, whether they're back from injury, who do you expect to come into that forward unit this weekend?
Jesus. Do you stick with the same team, or do you change it up to go like and like with Miltown with experience? You could make both. You make both cases really. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you stick with the young?
I would say, I'd say if Dylan Canny is fit, I would say he will start. I would imagine, because he's their free taker now that Jason Leonard is gone. Now I don't know who took the frees the last day.
I seem to take a lot of them the last day.
Yeah. Well, obviously he'd be a very good free taker on the right hand side, but Shaman would probably be more on the left. But I'd imagine he would start anyway if he is fit.
Do you bring one lad? Do you bring one of the more experienced lads on into the half forward line? So you have Sicey inside, and you have Tony Gill and one of the Farrers, and you know, it's. Do you know what? It's a good headache to have.
I was just going to say it's some headache to have.
This obviously
they're not looking to their junior.
But possibly, I'm not sure about Ronan Steede's situation. Has he been injured, or is he just not making the team? I don't know, but he could be brought on maybe to mark Carl Blake potentially. I'd say they've matched up plenty of times down through the years.
How do Miltown set up? Because Curran's played the sweeper role this year down to a T. He's been superb. He likes to sit back in front of that full back line, give them huge protection, and he was tremendous against Claregalway. But a sweeper against Corofin is like they do have these kind of shooters that will be able to land scores from range, and we've already come to the point where that Corofin back six are just going to run, and they're going to try and run Miltown. So what's the best way for Miltown to set up this weekend?
Oh, they'd have to play with a sweeper, I'd say. I'd say they'd want to close the shop. Hopefully win the toss and get the go against the win in the first half. Suck up all the pressure, be in the game at half time. And like we said, throw the kitchen sink at it in the second half, maybe push up man on man. But you know, to go 15 on 15 man on man with Corofin, like you'd want to be absolutely cracked. They'd fucking eat you alive. Do you know, especially when you're like I'm 32, I can only imagine like if some of them lads are 35 and you're chasing Dylan McHugh or Wall or you know, Liam Silk.
Yeah.
That's me now. That's me. Not a hope. I definitely go with +1, definitely.
And how do you see them setting up, Aidan?
Yeah, as Fiach said, it's very hard. It's very hard to see. To be honest, it's very hard to see anyone go 15 on 15 against Corofin. You know, because they're such good kick passes the ball, and they hold on to the ball. They don't give it away. I would imagine they will have to use a sweeper. Protect the D. Maybe I won't say 2 sweepers, but you know, maybe drop your wing forwards pretty deep as well. And then look at Miltown have scorers up front too. You know, you've Liam Costello. Yeah, I think he's a brilliant player. You have Mike Martin, obviously, brilliant player for years. Mark Hare, excellent. And there's another lad.
Mannion.
Owen Mannion, sorry, yeah, brilliant. Like very dangerous. You know, like I'd imagine what they will try to do is, you know, keep it tight at the back, use their sweeper, maybe drop their wing forwards, and try and hit as hard as they can on the break. They have a very good ball carrier as well. I think it's Liam Costello's younger brother.
Niall, yeah.
I don't know was he playing against Claregalway, but he was very good against Standing Down the day I seen them, and he was excellent at carrying the ball. You know, it's probably something you will need to do against Corofin if you're defending deep. You will need to carry it a bit and try and hit diagonal balls then into the forwards. But yeah, I suppose going back to your question, I would imagine they will have to play sweeper and maybe drop your wing forwards deep.
They didn't. I think I'm nearly certain Claregalway only scored 2 points from play.
They didn't score from play in the first half it was a goal and 5 frees in the first half. I think it was 45 minutes before Claregalway registered a score from play in the quarterfinal. Like Colin Brennan and Mike McWalters, the 2 wing forwards, are going to come back into the pocket. Then that probably, like they usually play with 13 men behind the ball. So I don't see them changing it now.
Yeah, no, and just about to say, like, no, like when I go back to like they have that more momentum behind them now. They might just go, we'll just stick to what we do for the championship and go with it, give it our best. Sometimes you know, in football, like you can look at tactics all you want, but at the end of the day, you know, whoever outworks the other team usually wins the game. It's as simple as that.
Just before some matchups and final predictions, there's a narrative here we haven't touched on. Former Corofin footballer Justin Burke is the Miltown senior football coach. Does that have an impact this weekend, Aidan?
Imagine it would to some extent, yeah. I'd imagine it's obviously going to be hard when manage against your own club, you know. Coach against your own club, but yeah, I would imagine it have an impact. I suppose he's gonna know what the ins and outs of what the Corofin lads like, what they don't like, where they like to go, obviously what foot they kick with and stuff like that. So yeah, he should have a huge insight into what Corofin will be trying to do. I don't know how close he still would be to the camp, but he probably wouldn't be probably not let them get too close the last couple of weeks anyway. But yeah, you'd imagine it would have some impact to a certain degree. Like he would I'm not sure what age Justin is now, but he would have played, I'm sure, with the majority of those lads. Maybe not the younger lads so much, but he definitely played with Sicey and Ronan Steede and Liam Silk and all these lads. So yeah, I'm sure he'll have his own matchups done.
Yeah, be an interesting household with his brother Gavin, cornerback for Corofin at the weekend. But how do Miltown backs week line up with the Corofin forwards here?
Well, do you know what? I think it's not what Miltown. I think it's the overall structure and what we were going back to, the 10 and 12 coming back. You know, another thing is when you have 13 men behind the ball, like that they're not too deep. Because you know, if you give Corofin time to kick in that ball, you know that they're pressing out, they're squeezing, they're not, you know, like they're making that middle third a war zone. It's that ball going into the Corofin full forward line, and then you have, you know, like I was watching Sicey there against Geraghty, like, and my God, like even in the warm up, some of the balls he was kicking were like, you know, you wouldn't see them, you wouldn't even scan them in the top of the stand, like it was unbelievable. And if you give boys like that time on the ball, it's game over. Like, so it's not even what they're marking. I think it's the structures and where they are, and you know, Corofin will be going from left to right, trying to, you know, get them on an overload so that, you know, all these things will come into play. So again, desire, work rate, focus. It's going to be a series. It's a mammoth task for Miltown, but something to look forward to. But you know, you gotta have someone on Sicey. I know what is he now? Is he 30?
39.
30, fucking hell, yeah, 39. But like his kick passing is just out of this world. Tony Gill, centre forward, three points from play. The last day, momentum again behind him. But I think Aidan touched on it. You know, it's the runners as well coming from deep. So like it's just the more it's a brilliant Corofin team, but something Miltown will relish.
Have you both now kind of came to the conclusion here that Corofin just have too much strength and depth to win this weekend?
I'd say the last 10, 15 minutes, I think it'll be tight, and I think Corofin will win by 4.
Maybe.
Yeah, much the same as Fiach. I do see Miltown competing for a long stretch of the game, but as he said, I just think Corofin will probably just have that too much in the end. But yeah, I look forward to it. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Corofin for me.
If Mountbellew win, if Miltown win, they need goals.
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Easier said than done there. On the other semi-final, lads, Mountbellew, Moycullen, 3:30 Pearse Stadium Saturday. If you just look since 2020, Moycullen have beaten Mountbellew in the county final that year, where Moycullen won their first. 2021, Mountbellew get revenge in a county semi-final. 2022, Moycullen defeat Mountbellew, where they went on last year to win the county title. So going on the last 3 years, it's 2-1 at the minute to Moycullen. And like Fiach, it's safe to say there is a big rivalry building up between these two clubs.
Yeah, no, there is. And I watched both teams at the weekend. Both teams just got over the line, but like after the video game, I saw Finnerty had them in a little huddle, and they're on the pitch there for 5-10 minutes. Just, you know, they're not flying it, but you know, you want to be peaking at the right time, so you just don't know with Mountbellew might lock. Then on the other hand, like Moycullen were cruising against Salt Hill, and they brought them back into it. But again, Moycullen got the job done. Like Cookie was unbelievable the last day. Oh my god. Fuck, like that point he scored, it was ridiculous. But like it's going to be a great game. Do you know who I couldn't get over? Do you know who was unbelievable last day for Mountbellew? My lock was John Daly.
On the
And
freeze.
he breeze from play. The man just loves kicking the ball. Like and do you know who's man of the match this day was Johnny Dewan. Unbelievable. He I met him in the hole in the wall there on the Monday night, and I was telling him he was playing the football of his life. What a player. Unbelievable last day, but yeah, it's a hard one to call. But like you'd fancy Moycullen, but you know, Mountbellew not going well at all, but it'd be the type of game now to just get them going.
Yeah, with that, Aidan, there's questions about Mountbellew now coming into this. Like last year, up to the Moycullen semi-final, they're absolutely flying it, playing superb football in that group, and then you could say, caught on the hop somewhat against Moycullen last year. This year they come into it not in great form, and there probably is a few question marks about their group. Have they been on the road now for a long time? People will be saying, but like they can use all this as motivation now going in this weekend.
Yeah, 100%. As Fiach said there, I think there's a big game in Mountbellew. I seen them against Tuam. They were pretty comfortable against Tuam, I think, for the first 25 minutes or so, and then Tuam kind of gradually got into it. I think there might have been a point or two in half time. Tuam obviously had to win the game, which is massive for them. Mountbellew, just a couple of mistakes up front, maybe just taking shots when they shouldn't have took shots or something, but Mike Daly came back on the field, got the first ball he got. I think he put it over the bar. So obviously he's a huge addition to them. Obviously probably won't start the next day, but a massive player to have. But I do think there's a big game in them, and I think the size of Moycullen jerseys will bring it out of them, and I give them a great chance. Like Moycullen, obviously the same. They haven't set the world alight either as such yet. Just going back on it, I think James has ran Moycullen pretty close in the group stages as well.
So did Lettermore.
Yeah, sort of Lettermore, like, and seem to concede a few goals. I know Sean Kelly wasn't playing and Peter Cook, and obviously they're two absolute huge players. Like, but yeah, I do think Mountbellew will give it. You know, I'm not sure will they win it, but I think it'll be a very close game. Very close game. So, and as you said, they are definitely coming in under the radar. I'm sure Moycullen will be red out favourites.
Is it somewhat going under the radar that people forget, like that? I suppose the Mountbellew 6 starting forwards, ever since Michael Daly has got injured, haven't been on the pitch for quite a while together. Like, are they boosted now by having Patrick Kelly and Michael Daly back in that forward unit?
Yeah, like they're two unbelievable players. I think they're brilliant players, but Michael Daly, the last day, he's still not at it yet. Took a few snapshots the last day. Now, if he got them, all he needs is one. He's such a player. Just something missing in him. I don't know what it is. Like a spark missing on Mountbellew my lock at the moment. But like what Aidan said there, like, you know, they're not far off it. This Moycullen game now might be the one to get them going. But you know, and again, the boys have got more game time. A tough finish. He was unbelievable last day. He was very good. But I'd say Mountbellew my lock, if they are to beat Moycullen, it is Moycullen's goalkeeper. He is the man to go at big time.
But in saying that, Moycullen absolutely crucified the Mountbellew kick out last year, where Mountbellew just couldn't get the hands on their ball. They got 3 goals in the first half. So it's a thing for both teams to go after, you feel, this weekend.
We'll see. With Moycullen, it's actually one of the most, it's a very simple kick out. It's the man kicks it up so high, there's snow on the ball, like, and it's just an overload breaking ball. And like Moycullen have big men out there, big men. So like, I suppose Mountbellew might look at training at the weekend. They'll be seriously working on the breaking ball. The second ball. Just that want to win the ball, because just if there's one weak link I have with Moycullen, it would be their keeper. But yeah.
And what's impressed you most about Moycullen so far, Aidan?
Runners. They seem to have great runners from deep all the time. What's his face? Johnny Maloney, is it?
Yeah, from Offaly, yeah.
Yeah, he seems to be a big addition to them. I know Paul Kelly kind of plays out around the middle third as well. He's a great man running off the shoulder. Obviously, Peter Cook is back, brilliant at that. Sean Kelly, obviously, coming from deep. Is it Owen Kelly?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it seems to be no more like Corofin. It's the same thing. They seem to love running from deep. Tom Clark from Maigh, originally. I think he set up the last score the last day. Again, another good man to carry the ball as well. So I think that's their biggest strength. The amount of runners and the speed they move at, and seem to always have someone off the shoulder when they're attacking,
The amount of scores they get from hand passing over the bar is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They bring it to one side, they overload, they loop, don't bring it into the tackle, and just a soft hand pass over the bar, or a soft hand pass across the goals and the goal. And Sean Kelly back the last day as well. He didn't seem himself, but still he got a full game under the belt, so he'll be mad for road now the next day. David Wynn as well, another man his runs are unbelievable, and he might not touch the ball. He might not touch the ball at all, but the amount of lads he brings with him. Another man you'd hate to be marking. Owen Gallagher as well, very quiet the last day, but a serious man. Desi as well, loves a good loop, serious shooter. But you look at Moycullen, like if Tomo was fit the last day for Salt Hill, I think Salt Hill were just missing one more forward. They could have bet Moycullen. So there'll be opportunities for Mountbellew Moylock the next day. It's going to be a cracking game. I can't wait for it. It's just serious.
Two key matchups here, lads, are probably who marks Sean Kelly and who marks John Daly.
Will they mark each other?
Yeah, that's another thing. I know Moycullen put Micheál O'Reilly on John Daly last year, and he just followed him everywhere, but could they tie up with each other as well as...
I could be wrong here, but John Daly was very... John Daly wasn't playing much of his sixth the last day. He was kind of in midfield, kind of half forward, getting, tackling in the middle third. So there's a great chance that the two boys will be marking each other the next day. But they could just cancel each other out. For me, it's who'll mark Cookie. Like, Peter Cook was unbelievable. Oh, lads. He gave this ball into Desi Keneally in the first half. My God. Peach of a ball. Scored a point outside his boot in the first half. Scored that whopper to draw it 60 minutes. Like, he needs serious mind, and I think he'd be the... who marks Gallagher, but who marks Cookie?
Is Matthew Barrett the man there to tie up with Peter Cook, do you feel, Aidan?
Physically wise, yes. Don't know would he be as mobile as Peter Cook. Peter Cook has great pace and he's great. He's a great stride when he starts moving with the ball. Matthew Barrett is a fine player as well, but he's probably more of an out and out kind of. I know he got the winner the last day, but I think he's more out and out between the two 65s or that as a midfielder. Whereas Cook, I'd say you could kind of play him. You could play him anywhere from midfield up, you know. I don't know would I match though. If I was? So I suppose both players are a problem for both opposition managers. So I don't know what I put Matthew Barrett on Peter Cook, but then
could even be Billy Mannion or someone.
Yeah,
I would be thinking maybe that might be a better matchup. I'm sure whatever about Sean Kelly. Obviously he do a man marking job, but I'd say they would be delighted if they got Mike if they got him on John Daly. I would say Mountbellew would rather have John Daly as their playmaker. You know, they'd hate to see Sean Kelly marking him, I think. But then look at. I think pound for pound, I think Mountbellew might have better forwards than Moycullen. If they click, and if Paddy Kelly is obviously great to get a game into him the last day, and I think hopefully that game will bring him on a lot, and I think he's a handful too.
Do you both start Michael Daly and Patrick Kelly from the start?
100%.
Yeah.
You're, you know, if you beat Moycullen the next day, just the momentum you have going into a county final. You have to have your best team on the pitch now against these boys.
I agree.
And no more than that, you're talking about who marks who. If Michael Daly's on the pitch, you're going to have someone go down Michael Daly, so you're going to free someone else up. You have Owen Finnerty, you have Barry McHugh as well. So it just gives Don and Kieran Murphy more problems. You just have to, 100%. And I know I said that Michael Daly missed a good few shots the last day, but that game time might do him the world of good. They played in Pearse Stadium now, so they've got their bearings there, you know. So, you just no more than Miltown now. You just gotta go for it. You gotta throw the kitchen sink at it. Get your best team on the pitch.
And Moycullen probably bring in James McLaughlin.
Jeez, you forget about him too.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. They've been embarrassment of riches, really. Especially kind of they've a lot of very physical players around your middle eight. Moycullen have a lot of physicality there. Probably more so than Mountbellew. I think Mountbellew might have a better up front. But middle eight, very hard matchup against Moycullen in that department.
They might bring McLaughlin in for the kickouts. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Mountbellew just bomb it out to the middle of the field, and they just box people out, and it's either catch it or it's a breaking ball. It's not rocket science what they do. So they need all their big men out there the next day, because I suppose when they have the ball, they're a serious team. If you're at the game the next day, just have a look at what they do. They'll just pick one side, they'll all overload to that side, and they have width and depth, and they'll just get it into the corner, don't bring it to the tackle, loops, side runs, and they'll just hand pass it over the bar. It's unbelievable what they do. It's unreal.
Hey, both giving a nod to Moycullen here?
Yeah, Moycullen by 2, and I'm going to say Desi Keneally man the match.
And Aidan?
I'm going to go for Mountbellew after extra time.
Oh,
Okay. And why?
Sorry, Paul?
And why do you feel Mountbellew after extra time?
I just think there's a big game in them. I just think that, and it's now or never, as we said. I think they're going to have their strongest team out. Whether that'll be strong enough to go to extra time, as I said, I just think they've a little bit more up front. I could be completely wrong, but that's just my gut.
So that's the game at 3:30 on Saturday in Pearse Stadium. Before that, we have 1:30 Saturday, Ireland versus Kilconly. A repeat of last year's semi-final. Ireland led for large parts of that, but Kilconly came back at them in the second half to win that game. But just before we get into it, I know last week we were paying remarkable credit to Ireland for what they've done, but like Fiach, a lot of these Ireland lads, to lose Colm O'Brien on and Tyler O'Flaherty this year, the odds were really kind of stacked against them to get to this stage of the competition.
Big time. Two brilliant players. One thing with Oran, they are so organised. Like they know exactly what they're doing to a T, and it's an absolute credit. Like, how they're still at it. But having Sean Mulcairn's back, he has put on serious muscle on this. He's a big man now. We played them in a friendly before the Kilconly game, and he means business. He's a savage man, but they've great players. I forget his name now, the centre forward. He was in school with my brother, like unbelievable player. And his dedication he has to the club is unbelievable. But they're just a solid outfit. Even league and championship, they're thereabouts every bloody year. And they'll be hurting after what happened last year. But going back to what we started saying at the start of the podcast here, like, we've had problems in the past 3 years in quarterfinals. So have Aidan with Kilmallow. Oran are very similar with the semi-finals. They just need to get over the line the next day. But it'll go down to the wire, and it's the last 10 minutes that'll win it. And that hurts, and they'll be going through all the times what mistakes they've done the past few years. They'll be talking a lot about that during the week here now, but will they be able to, I suppose, apply it, stay focused, do the right things when the pressure comes on, because Kilconly are a serious team. We played them in Clonbur. They've just brilliant players like Niall Marsden, Prendergast has scored a goal every game this championship, and Paul Mannion, who I said last year is one of the top forwards in the country. Momentum behind them. They'll be hurting from the county final last year. It's going to be a great game between that and Mountbellew and Moycullen. I think these two games are the games of the weekend.
How do you see this game, Aidan?
50-50, I'd say. I know they had a very close game last year in the semi-final. Speak said they're credit to our Ireland, so they keep coming back. As I said, lost two of their best players, and they're still doesn't seem to have affected them. They're kicking on again, and they just need to get over this semi-final. Because look, they're playing in Division 2 for a number of years now as well, so they're a good team. They're good enough to get up to senior anyway and have a go at it. But at this stage, just getting about over the line. But Kilconly, I haven't seen an awful lot of them this year. I've seen a small bit of their game against Brendan's. Kilconly seem to be always able to get goals, which I think is probably their biggest strength. Like they could be, I think against Brendan's there were 10 points apiece, 5 minutes left or maybe 10 minutes left. They got 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes. They seem to be able to do that, and I think they did the same against Cartoon earlier in the championship in Miltown. Very, very little between them. I'd probably just go for Kilconly, I'd say. But very hard to call it, to be honest with you. Yeah, just about Kilconly.
Obviously, with Kilconly, because you were mentioning there, the main threats are really Paul Mannion and David Prendergast. They're scoring a large proportion of Kilconly's scores. Do you feel Illinois have the system to frustrate them? And do you feel Sean Mulcairn picks up Paul Mannion this weekend?
Right.
Sorry, Fiach or me, Paul? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, just Fiach there. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll tell you now. I think Sean Mulcairns will go on Prendergast.
Okay.
Prendergast has scored a goal in every game this championship, and one thing that Aidan has said is goals win the games, and Kilconly are scoring goals for fun this year. And if you go through all their games, Prendergast is their top scorer, and you have one of the finest footballers in Patrick O'Donnell as well, who could go on Paul Mannion, or who could go on Conor Marsden. I think Sean Mulcairn will go on Prendergast, to answer your question, and Patrick O'Donnell will pick up Paul Mannion, and I think they'll try to frustrate them, and we'll try and get Kilconly on the counter attack. One thing Kilconly are brilliant at doing is slowing the game down. And when I say slow the game down, is their tackling. So their delay, we found it extremely hard. So before the Kilconly game, I suppose we had a lot of space in the middle third, where Kilconly really, really, really now put serious tackles in the middle third. So, it's about Aaron keeping the ball out of the tackle. It's about moving the ball up, but Aaron don't play with many forwards up front. They might have one or two, but what they do is they have a lot of runners get the ball to Killeen. But do you know what? I actually can see this as a draw at the weekend. I just think these two teams are very even. Like Aaron's 7 points up the last year. Cruising.
Yeah, at half time, yeah.
Kilconly got to a county final. They're just, I find it hard now to call that game. I'm going to go for it. Do you know what? It'd be interesting to see who Niall Daly could run amok in midfield.
Mulcairn played midfield against Caltra, so is it something where they're going to put Mulcairn on Daly?
That's not a bad shout, actually. But and Patrick. But then who goes on Prendergast?
Yeah.
See, I think Aaron have more problems to figure out than Kilconly, but I just think Aaron are just getting things done But Kilconly are. I was very impressed with Kilconly the last day against us. They just mean business, and they bet like any team that beats Brendan's. I just think Brendan's are a great team. Yeah. No, I'm probably not even answering the question here. I just think it's a draw written all over it.
And Aidan, would you say, since you played Kilconly last year, would you say they're a better team than this time last year?
Yeah, maybe. I think they're probably playing with a bit more confidence now this year. I know when they got over us last year, they took a lot of confidence from that, especially after extra time. And obviously got over there in Ireland, then didn't perform in the county final. But I think, as Fiach said, they're really gunning for it this year. They seem very organised, and they're probably that bit of, I won't say cynical, but gamesmanship, or around the middle, slowing the game down when it needs to be slowing down. I think that's probably something they would have improved on. It is a very hard game to call. I think I just forgot. I forgot about Patrick O'Donnell. He's a fabulous footballer. Yeah, he actually could mark a man, but he also needs to be marked as well, because I don't know, did he score 1-3 or 1-4 in one game, or maybe that was last year or something, but he could play anywhere, so he's probably one that Kilconly, from an attacking point of view, would really need to focus on as well. So he could be one that to pick up Paul Mannion maybe and try and put Paul Mannion on the back foot going the other way. Paul Mannion, he's obviously still playing brilliant, but he doesn't seem to be scoring as freely from play this year, but that's probably because he's so well marked, So he might be that might be something that Aaron Islands might do, is maybe put Patrick O'Donnell on him and try and keep him on the back foot. Sean McKern, I would have said the same as Fiach there, David Prendergast, but then Nine Daly, yeah, that could be another matchup for him. Yeah. It's a very hard game. The more you think about it, the more you get into it. As I said to you earlier, I hadn't talked too much about these intermediate games because the interest isn't the highest at the moment going on our last, but it's 50-50 just about Kilconly. Sorry, Fiach, go on.
No, sorry, I couldn't in there, but I said to you before that we went online, sometimes you need a bit of luck. Ball hits off the post, drops into someone's hand, goal. A bit of that as well, but yeah, it'll be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. In the sense of Kilconly seem to be on a mission this year. They are in a tough group, but Aaron have been going about their business very good this year, and they have the two boys missing. Doesn't seem to affect them. Will it affect them in the semi-final? Time will tell. But great game. I love to know who's reffing it. When I say who loves to know the reffing it,
it's Austin Connell.
Austin, okay, yeah. See, Kilconly love their serious tacklers. And they'll put serious pressure on Aaron. But one thing that Aaron are very good at is they don't bring the ball into the tackle. Just like I said, I think it's a draw written all over it.
So just then on the other game, both narrowly going for Kilconly there in the end, but Corofin Shamrocks and Monivea, that's the game. 1:45 Sunday, Tube Stadium. Aidan, in this game, you have Corofin, who eventually got past yourselves, and Monivea, who have just done enough. It seems to be two teams who've just done enough in this championship.
Yeah. Because obviously Monivea coming out senior along with Carrow Road, they would have been seen as one of the favourites. I saw them against Corofin, the Beck Clifton in the first game. Then I saw them against Corofin and Tuam they were behind for most of that game. I think Trevor Mullins just got that was the last minute or something. He got a point to win it. I think it was 14-13 or 13-12, something like that. Just about got over the line. In my eyes, they were lucky enough. Then I seen the first half of their game against Caltra. It was a great game of football. You know, two teams really going at it. So they haven't, and obviously just got over Micheál Brannig's. They're on the right. You know, they were lucky enough to do that. So yeah, look, that's a point win, that's a draw, and a point win again. So they're just about getting enough done. You know, they don't care as long as they're winning. But I suppose they haven't set the world alight as the way we would have thought coming down from senior, with some of the players they have. But there is quality there, and I think you know, I think there is a big game in them. I do think it'll be a good game.
Big, obviously, you came up against Monivea Abbey in that quarter-final. What's the most thing that impressed you about Monivea in that quarter-final?
The same thing we always say about Monivea. They're just an honest bunch of men. Steely, tough. They'll never give up. Just a solid outfit. McDaden full forward. A lump of a man. Jesus Christ. He's a big unit. Trevor Mullins midfield. Glenn Kelly on the freeze. You know, any team that goes down from senior, like when we went down to senior, we got to 2 county finals straight after it. So they have that experience. They have the know-how, which was evident to see against us. You know, they're going about their business, not setting the world on fire, but they're still getting it done. They're getting, you know, in the, I suppose, the clutch moments, as they say, the boys are stepping up. So, you know, I expect them to win because they just come down from senior. They have some quality players. But like we played Cartoon in the first game of championship, and like I was talking to Paul Varley after the game, and if I told him that they'd be in a county semi-final after us beating them by 6 points, he'd take my hand off me. But fair play to them. Another like another tiny club, like, you know, no more than Miltown or Aaron, like, you know, unbelievable what they're doing. They're getting everything out of every player. Paul Varley out as well, like, you know, Joey Donlan back. He was out in Saudi Arabia milking cows, but he's back now for Cartoon. He's baller, and sure, like Varley's the man. Like Varley, I love the man so much. He's a legend. Be like if Monivea stopped Varley, you have a great chance of winning the game. Like, did Varley do something against G?
Yeah.
2-3, wasn't it?
2-3. But like those 2 goals that came from us losing the ball. My God, lads, have you seen the first goal finish? It was an absolute screamer. We hadn't our first choice goalie. Cormac was out injured for the last 2 games. He had a head injury. But no keeper would have stopped this. It was absolutely brilliant. As much as it pains me to say it, it was a brilliant goal. But yeah, like Cartoon, again, as Fiach says, if Varley is the man, like if he's fit, I give Cartoon a great chance.
Is he fit?
He went off in extra time against us. And I thought it was a hamstring injury, but I've heard since that he was just cramping, but I don't know how true that is. But if he's fit, he's going to take some stopping, like, you know, if he's on form.
And do you know who's another brilliant? sorry, cutting it again, but Donal O'Neill.
Brilliant. Yeah, he was brilliant against us as well. He tied up one of our lads, or he was kind of moving around. He was doing a job on a few different lads, but he was brilliant. Like, but they have, there's Johnny Glynn is there as well. Like, if he's playing, I can see him going on Trevor Mullins. Huge man, power, height of him. Like he's a handful. Like I'd imagine if he's there, he'll go on midfield. He'll go on Trevor Mullins.
You
go battle. Yeah. So
McDade and Bailey are the really two key battles here.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd prefer, if I was Monivea, I'd have McDade out. That's just me.
Monivea play, I think they kind of go 15 and 15 as far as I know, and try and hit McDade.
Monivea is as traditional as you get.
Yeah, it's great to see.
They are full just 15 on 15. It was the first we played this year where it was man on man. McDade was in full forward, but McDade's such a brilliant player. I just like to have him. I'd nearly in and out. He rattled the goal, the post, hit the outside post and the inside post, and came out in the first half. But I suppose one thing people say about Monivea is they're short, maybe a forward, so maybe that's why they have McDade inside. Yeah, I just think the experience of Monivea will just get them over the line. But going back to it again, Varley would be huge. If Varley's fit, he'll cause them serious problems. Because I don't know, did they do the same thing? He played inside. Another player on his day, he's a great footballer. Played with him for Galway, and he was unbelievable. It was Mully.
Yeah, very good.
Give him space, give him time. That man can do anything with the ball. And when you win a game like that,
I don't.
Get off is huge.
Yeah, 100%. Seen it with Kilconly last year. And you can see it in them after the game. As I say, it gives you a huge lift. So I give them a great chance coming in. As I said, if Varley is fit, I'd go for Cartoon.
Yeah, I'd go for Monivea. I just think the know-how it'll be. I just think it won't be pretty. They'll just get it done.
Yeah.
Somewhere. But it'd be unreal if Cartoon got to a county final again with they've a tight panel.
Yeah.
Paul Shaughnessy gone. Just thinking they're pure off the cuff here now. But if you're Port Joyce, would you bring Varley in?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he's a great ball winner and everything.
Yeah.
And maybe the way the game has gone, maybe it mightn't suit him as much. Maybe it's a bit defensive. Balls aren't being hit him, but he's always out in front winning ball.
Yeah.
I think he's a great option.
He's the man.
Would you bring him back in, Vic?
Yeah, I would just for this. The sole purpose of just having someone inside the full forward line just to win a few balls. Just a focal point. I know we had Berkey there last year, but at times but I know I just have him in there. He's a professional, he looks after himself very well, he loves it, he's big. I think he was telling me there, I called over to his house there for a cup of tea after we played in the league game. He's thinking about going into psychology. He's a deep thinker. I could listen to him all day talking about football. He is the man. I'd bring him in. I'd love to see him in there. He deserves it.
And Vic, we had a few people on to us today about you getting Landon in third.
Eddie O'Sullivan.
Yeah. What's your response to him?
my uncle, my granddad is from Moycullen, and I have a good uncle there, Tommy Fairty. I used to work in the butcher shop there for years. But no. I'll be building my house in Porushill Creek, and I'll have the O'Bearers playing for the Banana. It won't be wearing white. But Eddie's a good man. Another man you could chat football with for hours, like a legend. And you talk about the lads from Miltown, like Eddie O'Sullivan, still going at it. Like, I was watching him himself, the Uachtar boys playing against Salt Hill, and like Eddie going up and down the field like cracked. Like, what a man to look after himself.
Then just lads, to finish, just on the intermediate relegation, because it's the last round, and it's probably a bit of a shock to see some of these teams here, but Kilconly played Corofin and Carrow played Kilconly. Rather than just getting into the permutations here, who are the two teams you see being relegated, Aidan?
As far as I know, none of them are safe, so I'm not going to go into it. But sorry, just let me get this right now. Kilconly play
Corofin B, and then Carrow play Kilconly.
Carrow, Kilconly.
Do you see both of them going down as well, Fiach?
No. I think Carrow will just get it done. Don't ask me why. I just cannot see Carrow down in junior next year. Do you know what? I've had this conversation with a few lads now. It's kind of scary what's happening to the West Coast here. Like, there's a lot, like, we're kind of in decline at the moment. Like, Lettermore, Spidéal, ourselves, Chiarrua, Corna. Like, when I was playing, when I started, like, Corna were in a county final. You know, Lettermore, ourselves, and Spidéal, senior, intermediate. Like, it's kind of sad to see. But I can just see Chiarrua just getting it done. Don't know how. I know their scoring difference is better. I think Corofin are -5 and Chiarrua are 2. So I think Chiarrua will stay up. They'll just do it. No more than Monivea. Just that know-how. Like, Chiarrua have been in plenty of relegations in senior football as well. Just think they'll just get it done on the last day.
So do you see Kilconly staying up with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think he'll go down to aggregate score.
Yeah. So
I think
you have Corofin and Kilconly, and then so if Corofin were to win that'll put all three teams on 4 points, and then it'll come down to the games between all three of them teams.
I think unless Corofin hammer Kilconly, I just think Carrow would beat Clonberne. Even though going on, I suppose up to now, you wouldn't see it like Clonberne had a serious win, but they're on 4 points. They probably think they're probably safe. They probably will say, just don't get bet by X amount. Yeah, I just see them two teams staying up. I think it's just down to aggregate score.
Yeah.
Are minus.
That'd actually be scoring difference, not the new scoring system, because that's what Galway went for. If I in case
don't get into that.
Get cut on.
Yeah. So they're the two games in the relegation playoffs, and then Michael's play Lettermore in the first round of the senior, and Spidéal play Cuilinn. But that's all we do have time for today on our previewed action of the senior and intermediate this weekend. Thanks a million to the lads for coming on.
Cheers.